Hi there, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. It's a bit of a different video for you today. It's one that I didn't think I'd ever make, but it's going to be about this guitar. So this is my 1979 Fender Stratocaster. I bought this at an auction. It was Gardner Hallgate about 3 years ago. It was the bass player in my band that I was in was quite friendly with another bass player, funnily enough, called Pete Watts. She was very friendly with him during the last sort of few months of his life when she used to work at a hospice. And about a year or so after he died, his family sold on some of his assets, a load of guitars included in that. So naturally they went to Gardner Hallgate, as they've got a very good guitar auction set up there. I went there with a view to buy one of Pete's guitars, because one of them caught my eye, but unfortunately I didn't pick it up. But what I did spot were a few 70s Strats, this one included. There was another one which had a beautiful finished blemish. It's quite reminiscent of the new finishes that Fender have brought out, with like a fade, almost like a reverse sunburst sort of effect, in that you've got the lighter finish around the outside and then the darker finish in the middle. It was that, but it was almost like an electric blue sort of colour, very light, and it was meant to be black, but then it degraded into this sort of almost white on the outside. I really like the look of it, but luckily I went to the auction on the day, so I actually got to see the guitar in person, and I noticed that the neck had been changed, so it wasn't the correct neck for the body. I mean, shouldn't really matter, but then I was very wary of 70s guitars at the time, because you hear about the sort of 3-bolt neck not being as stable, and then I thought, so if it had been changed, maybe it wasn't going to be reliable. But I was looking around and I saw this one, and it was, of all of the lots of the day, it was the last one that I had any sort of particular interest in. And having sort of lost out to Pete Watts' guitar that I quite liked, that had his autograph on it, funnily enough, and many of the other lots, I think there was a PRS, another couple of 70s Fenders, I'd gotten myself very worked up, so the guitar was going to be mine. So I sort of been a little bit beyond my means, but I managed to stump up the cash and walked away with this, which I'll put on some playing demos in just a minute for you. It completely changed my opinion of 70s guitars, because I'd heard that they were awful, that they hadn't that the necks were awful, the neck wasn't, that the 3-bolt idea wasn't particularly good, and they weren't very nice to play. But this particular Strat, it has a fantastic set of pickups. It sounds phenomenal. The neck pickup especially is just unbelievable. I did change a few things to make it a bit more playable. The bridge, for one, as you can sort of notice, is a gold colour. This is a made in Mexico, or for a made in Mexico guitar, but it was just the only one that I could find at the right price point that would drop straight into this guitar, so I wouldn't have to alter anything. I've still got the original Mazak zinc block bridge, which it wasn't particularly usable. I could only really hardtail it, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted a proper Fender trem system. The black pick guard isn't original either. I did that to give it a bit more of a Gilmore sort of vibe. I didn't do the neck-on switch, which I did toy with at one point, but I thought I'd keep it as original as I can. But minus the pick guard, of course. The only other things I've done, I put treble bleed to try and maintain that sort of like treble through the volume throw. Then the other thing I did very recently was swapped out the 5-way switch. It had an original Fender 5-way switch on it, but over the years it had become seized. I'm not quite sure exactly what caused that, but I've replaced it with an exact replacement. It was a CRL switch. The only other sort of minor thing is just the string trees up here, just to keep tune and stability up. Other specs on this guitar, obviously it's a maple neck. It's a very thick maple neck, which I do quite like thick necks on guitars. It just gives a bit more substantial than some of the matchsticks that you can get these days. The tuners are just the original 70s Fender tuners. They're fantastic. I don't know why people complain about them. 21 frets. The board is just a part of the neck, and this is a very heavy ash body. The contour on the back isn't particularly deep, and neither is the so the belly cut's not particularly deep, and neither is a comfort cut for your arm. The idea bit, one of the stories I heard was that either they were cutting corners in the manufacturing process to cut costs, so that they could produce as many guitars as quickly as possible, and the other one was that they thought that the key to good tone was as much mass as possible. So this is a rather heavy guitar in that it's just over 9 pounds. I'm not quite sure what that is in kilograms. I'll put it up on one of my little notes somewhere. Okay, so why is this the video I never thought I'd make? Well, I've sold this guitar. It's sold today. I'm just waiting on the payment now, and then I will send it out to the new owner. Honestly, never thought I'd sell this guitar, but I need the funds to get some new gear, get some different bits and pieces. I do have another Strat, which I built myself. Well, just a classic parts caster, really. Still needs a bit of work doing to it. If you'd like a video about that one, leave a comment and I'll do it. Well, yeah, so this is going to be boxed up and shipped off to its new owner in the next couple of days. Hopefully they'll love it as much as I did, or do. I'm really going to regret selling this guitar. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like and a comment for me. I probably should have written a script for the main body of this video, but live and learn. I really am going to miss this guitar. I know I'm going to regret selling it, but I've got my eye on some cool bits and pieces that will probably feature on the channel at some point or another. Yeah, if that's of any interest to you, please do subscribe, and I'll see you next time.